Okay, we're recording.
Hi.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Backlog. Today we're talking about The Witcher, the original Witcher video game from 2007.
While
Came out for
playing
PC.
Borderlands Game of the Year.
We're playing Borderlands Game of the Year. It just came out a month ago on Xbox One and PS4. Never before has it come to these systems. It did, but it was old school graphics. This one's updated with 4K textures and all that jazz. New minimap.
Yep.
Seems like it's a lot easier. Why am I talking about Borderlands? We're here to talk about The Witcher.
Yeah, I had a hard time playing it. Can you pick me up okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope the oh man, I died instantly. I got in fight for life 2 times.
Yes, the mic is picking up your controller fabulously.
I did not enjoy The Witcher very much because I was under the impression it was going to be compatible with a controller, which I'm not a snob. I will play a keyboard game, but it's hard to do with an infant in your arms. So I had a hard time playing it. I did not get very far, so you played most of it.
Yeah, we don't really have a desk at our house right now. The gaming PC sits behind the TV, therefore anything that requires a keyboard has to go through a little tiny wireless keyboard with high latency and no mouse. It's like a trackpad.
I'm good with a trackpad. Well,
you're a special person who can play a video game with a trackpad. What I ended up doing was actually plugging in a wireless mouse and using it on the arm of the couch with the keyboard on my lap, which worked fine. And I guess if you want controller support, it is possible, but you have to use a thing like the Pinnacle Gaming Profiler, which just remaps keyboard controls to a controller. That's the whole purpose of the software. Works good. I own it. I haven't used it in a long time. Or some other analog like that. Something to translate the inputs. Anyway, The Witcher. The first Witcher.
It's full of cringe.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. But here's the breakdown. The quick breakdown. Came out for PC only. There were plans for an Xbox 360 that actually fell through because the company they hired to put it on console, I think they went bankrupt or something. But that never happened, unfortunately. Looked pretty cool. It is considered an action RPG. It's got a Metascore of 86 from the community. Well, which one's 100 and which one is 10?
What are you asking me?
I thought maybe you knew.
I was not born into the gaming world.
I think the critical reviews are out of 100, and the user reviews are out of 10. So it's got an 86 on Metacritic from critical review and 8.5 from user review. So it's pretty high. It's better than 7 or 5 or 4. It's pretty good. People liked it. It's developed by CD Projekt Red, which now, if you know video games at all now, they're developing Cyberpunk 2077, which has made a huge splash. It's a big deal. Everybody's really kind of freaking out about that. It looks gorgeous. It looks amazing. I'm actually really excited about it. Although
we might not be able to play it with the kids awake.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red makes games that are not appropriate for children.
For instance, right after you do the first mission or so in Witcher, the person who you've been trying to find a potion to heal this whole time tries to invite you to bed.
Oh, no, she does.
Well, yes, and you can say no.
I'm pretty sure, and I didn't even look this up, but I'm pretty sure in The Witcher they have like a little mini game where you can collect cards based upon the women you slept with.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's the game that has that. I should have looked that up.
I'm surprised it's not on Anita Sarkeesian's crap list.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah, stinking Sarkeesian. It's rated M, of course. I haven't gone down my list. I gotta keep going. Oh. There's no multiplayer. For my list, I have platform year. We're gonna have more formatting now in our backlog episodes. I have platform year, genre, Metascore, developer, rating, and for kids. So, for each game that we do on this show, we're going to attempt to keep with this format, and it will include a little recommendation whether or not you should play this with kids around. This one says absolutely not because of sex scenes. That's specifically what I wrote. It's got some blood and gore. I didn't notice any swearing, actually.
To be fair, our TV was acting up and we had no sound for the first half of the game.
That's true, but we had subtitles, right?
I'm not sure that we did.
I don't know. Years ago, I played this. I played like 15 hours of this game, which I know isn't very long because it's like a 30 or 40 hour game. And then just last week when we played it, we only played it for like an hour or two. So, limited experience with the game, just enough to like get a gist for the controls and just a feel for the game, the graphics, all that jazz, the storytelling side of it. The opening scene is pretty cool in The Witcher. Yeah, that's so this game is based on based on stories written by a Polish author. They're like a fantasy series surrounding a small group of people called Witchers who are monster hunters. And they are kind of augmented people. They're kind of mutants. They go through this trial of getting lots of foreign matter in their veins to become the Witchers. They're extra powerful. They can fight giant monsters. They're really strong. They're trained in lots of different martial combat. I'm going to need to sneeze. I'm going to mute the mic.
And of course you lost it.
And we're back, but my sneeze ran away. I actually did not sneeze yet. If it comes back, I'm going to mute the mic and get it done. You scared my sneeze. How dare you?
Sorry.
I can't believe you chased my sneeze off. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Eleanor did not enjoy it. Mostly because she likes games with a controller and games with better graphics than the original Witcher.
Oh, that wasn't the issue I had.
That wasn't the issue? What was the issue?
I like graphics.
Yes.
I am a graphic snob, but
yes.
The issue I had with The Witcher is it was so cringe. It was so cringy. The dialogue and the way the game moved forward. So you finally leave the first area and you see this little cutscene, this mother and her son running away from these... your controller... I'm dying. Can you turn your controller back on?
Okay, fine.
He's not actually playing the game. We're playing co-op, but apparently it does not pause. So I'm dying, and I'm dead.
No, you're dead.
It was a little cutscene. The mother gets stuck outside the gates, and what's his name?
Geralt.
Geralt shows up to save her, but all of a sudden, you're not actually saving her. What's happening is all these random people saying, "Oh no! Look what's happening! Are you going to save her, Geralt?" "Oh, you shouldn't save her. You just need to leave her out there and don't get involved. I'll take care of this myself." It's like, wait, what is happening? You're not seeing a cutscene. You're seeing one person at a time standing in front of Geralt. Like, what are you gonna do? It was super weird and out of place, and just... I've played bits of the second Witcher, and it was way better, as far as I'm remembering.
That's coming up in a different Backlog episode, because I think I went through the opening cutscene, but I never really played it.
I fired it up years ago when we first got married. You weren't home, and it was broken. I had to completely erase it from Steam and track down all its files.
Well, I've got an Xbox 360 copy that will run beautifully. I forget how I acquired it, but it should work good. What was I going to say? Oh, so The Witcher is kind of known for introducing and putting forward a system of morality that a lot of other games didn't have at the time. It's real common in games now to have a morality system, a good or bad, A or B type of thing going on. In The Witcher, you're often presented with a gray area moral quandary. So you end up there's no good answer to the moral problem, basically, and they present that to you over and over. So you may attempt to be the good guy every time, or the bad guy every time, but it's not going to let you do that. Each choice will have a little bit of good and a little bit of bad, and you're just kind of forced between two evils, as it were, pretty often, which is an interesting thing to do. I don't think there's any moral gauge. It's not like Knights of the Old Republic, where if you chose all the bad choices, you end up with a big old scar. And
can't you do that in Fable too?
Yeah. Fable had a really heavy duty morality meter in it, and that one's funny too, because if you were completely bad, you grew horns, and you turned all red, and you had a scowl on your face. And if you were really good all the time, you had a halo, and little wings would come out of your back, and you got to the maximum one. So it's kind of fun. So I don't think that exists in The Witcher, but it does give you moral decisions, but none of them are like distinctly good and distinctly bad. You always feel a little bad for doing the one that you think is the most good, because it's still not great. Which is, it's kind of a cool thing to do.
I just saw that guy spawn.
No, you don't get to see bad guys spawn in this game. You're gonna die again.
I know.
You're like a whole 3 bubbles of experience ahead of me.
It helps that I'm actually playing the game.
Kids these days. So that's The Witcher. We don't have much more to say about it because we didn't play much. I played like an hour the other day, and I guess I can talk about mechanics. The actual combat system I actually liked. You didn't like it though, did you? Was that mostly because you just didn't have experience with it?
Yeah, I didn't have experience with it, and I don't like having to. I don't know. It was weird. I don't remember the mechanics of Half-Life 2 with a mouse and keyboard and a trackpad, but I remember it being so much better.
Well, that's a first-person shooter, so the trackpad controls the view, and WASD goes forward and back, left, strafe left and strafe right. That's how they all control.
Okay. Well, I just found the mechanics to be weird, but I didn't grow up with games like that.
Yeah, I didn't experiment with them, but there's apparently 3 different ways to control the original Witcher, which is interesting. One of them is, the one I was using turns it kind of into an isometric RPG. Like, you can pan the camera around, but you can't zoom it down into, like, behind Geralt's shoulder. It's designed to where when bad guys come at you, you can just click on them with the mouse. And it's almost completely controlled with the mouse. You move the camera with the mouse, you click on the ground ahead of Geralt in order to move him on and on and on. And when you click on a bad guy to strike, so there's 3 different attack modes. One is like a powerful slow mode, one is like a quick attack mode, and one is like a group mode, so you can attack multiple bad guys in group mode. And you have to modify it according to which type of bad guy you're fighting, because a quick one isn't as powerful. If he's got armor, you won't hit him at all. It'll take forever, or you'll never even be able to hit him. On and on. That's the strategery of the thing. But what was cool, and what I enjoyed, was once you hit a bad guy, and you were using the correct attack mode, the cursor would turn red, and if you hit it, and it would turn yellow, and then it would disappear. And it happens pretty quick, so if you tap again while it's red, you'll actually strike again in like a combo fashion, and again, and it's more powerful moves. You just have to time them perfect. It wasn't hard to time them, but you have to make sure you're doing it, otherwise you're going to do a bunch of weak strikes. It takes forever. That was kind of cool. I think if I was at a computer desk with a mouse and keyboard, I would enjoy playing it more, and that's probably how I got 15 hours in last time, years ago when I fired it up. But my video gaming ADD did not allow me to finish that game.
I felt like it was kind of clunky.
I thought it was cool. So there's our combined consensus. One is yes, one is no. So we did another game. It's a tiny little game. We're going to include it in this episode because it would not be big enough for its own episode. But before that, let's talk about a little bit of a social thing in The Witcher. And that social thing was, not too long ago, they announced a TV show for The Witcher. So they've had The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 3 was sold like gangbusters. The Witcher 3 was a big deal. It was one of the most gorgeous games to come out. It's huge. The DLC that came out was almost as big, from what I understand, as the main game. It basically doubled the gameplay time. I guess it's really fun. Everyone loves it. I don't own it yet because I'm cheap. And it's probably not great to play in front of my children. So, someday, if it goes down to like $5 or $10 at a pawn shop, I may pick it up if I can get Game of the Year edition. That's when I'll play it. Anyway, they announced the TV show is being developed for Netflix. It's going, allegedly, to star Henry Cavill. It's so early in production that they could probably change main characters.
Yeah, they showed a promo image of him looking like...
Like he had a really bad wig on?
He looked like Legolas.
He looked like Legolas. Like buff Legolas.
No, he looked like Orlando Bloom after Orlando Bloom grew up and grew out of his skinny string bean stage and got kind of pudgy.
Except Henry Cavill's not pudgy.
No, but his face got wider.
Yeah.
So...
It's like Superman in Legolas cosplay.
Yes. In fact... Oh no, wait. What's the name of that guy with the silver hair in Final Fantasy?
Sephiroth?
Yes, remember there's a meme out there you can find of Henry Cavill in that costume. It says, looks like Henry Cavill's playing or doing some Legolas or Sephiroth cosplay.
It's goofballs. And they're talking about the Witcher promos, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Maybe we should find that image and make that the image for this episode.
Yeah, very well could. So the controversy is that apparently the developers of the show, or creators of the show, have come out and said that they're going to make Triss, who is one of the... Triss? Is that her name? Triss?
Ask me.
One of the women in the story. They're going to make her not non-white, basically. They're going to make her like dark-skinned or something.
Didn't they put out a casting call for just Asian and African women?
Oh, you're right. That's what it was.
And non-white women?
Yeah, they're looking for women to fill the roles, and they specifically said they couldn't be white.
Which is ridiculous. It's a Polish story.
Yeah, it's extra dumb. It basically takes place in Scandinavia, Europe.
I mean...
It doesn't, because it's fantasy, but still. You
wouldn't cast Black Panther with, women from Switzerland.
Right, exactly. And... That's a perfect analog.
All hell would break loose if you did.
Yeah, that's a perfect analog. So, why would you cast Black and Asian women to fill the female roles in this game that the exact character in the game is not Black or Asian? They're Scandinavian-looking women.
I mean, an argument can be made that who cares, it's a fantasy. You can do whatever you want. And I certainly have done that in my creative writing. But you're gonna upset people.
Well, I care because of source material.
Yeah.
If this was, hey, we're making the Witcher TV show, and this is an alternate universe where there was never a book and there was never a video game, these characters aren't previously established, this is a new IP, then yeah, do whatever you want. I don't care. But if there's source material to be going by, you should follow the stinking source material.
Yeah.
I'm not against Black or Asian women. I just think that they should follow the source material. Shame on them. And they're doing it specifically to meet their agenda of diversity, which is dumb. If they want a show with diversity in it, they should choose source material that has diversity in it, not change source material in order to fit that MO.
Well, and to really piss people off on that sort of note, for some reason my mind was just wandering this morning. I was thinking about a TV show that I won't name that we were watching for quite a long time, and they got towards the last few seasons, and the story just really started to suffer. Like, you could tell they were running out of ideas. But they took one of the characters who was previously established as being interested in men. She was heterosexual. But they shoehorned her back into the story. She'd been gone for seasons and seasons. And she meets another female character who's clearly they're trying to set her up as being a strong feminist character and probably not into men. But they meet for like 5 seconds and go on an adventure. there isn't really any chemistry between them, but you can tell they're trying to make you think that, oh, they got a lot in common. Oh, they kind of like each other. Oh, they're giving each other glances. And at the end of the story, we're supposed to think that, I think the character says something like, I think she's who I've been looking for. It's like, you've known her for 5 minutes. You've previously shown interest only in men. But we're supposed to buy this for the character? It just, if it fit the character, fine. I personally think it's just a way to shoehorn in, identity politics and, the agenda that they want to push.
Yeah, and again, we can reiterate, don't have a problem with them producing that. If they want to do that from the beginning, go for it. But to mold it later on to fit the agenda is just going to ruin the story. Whatever. Don't do it. Just make a new IP if you want a show like that. So, anyway, moving on. We played another game. We're going to shift gears. Played another game that was very small. Eleanor didn't like it at all.
I didn't actually get a chance to play it, really.
Yeah, it was kind of off the cuff. But it's worth mentioning because it's strange and it's in the backlog. And I have played it, but Eleanor never played it. So, it's called Polynomial. It came out in 2009. May 28th, 2009. Which was later than I thought. I thought it was older than that. It's a very strange game. It's on PC only. It is considered an indie 3D shooter music game, which is kind of a weird sedimentary rock of video games, It's like several genres mishmashed together. It's got a Metascore user score of 5.6. It didn't do well. It's got no critical reviews because it's such a weird little indie game. Nobody ever thought to write an actual article about it. It's developed by I can't read. A Russian guy named Dmitry Lavrov. Dmitry Lavrov. I wrote in my notes here, it's mostly just a really pretty 3D visualizer for your music. Gameplay is meh. Visuals and customizations are good. Make your own amazing 3D interactive visualizer. That's pretty much all it's there for, is to look pretty and take your music and change it into like incredible rainbow colored dot matrix patterns. So it takes the waveforms of your music and spits it out into this crazy 3D world. And you don't even have a ship really, it's just a cursor on the screen. And the whole screen moves around as if you're in a ship, like a cockpit. Mm-hmm. And there's these little, they call them evil Nazi robot monster things. I forget what that's called. Something about Nazis and robots. Mm-hmm. They're basically these, they look like Pac-Man. These little, like, flying space Pac-Man things. They kind of want to munch you. You gotta shoot those things and fly around in this beautiful visuals that the bass from your music is it's pumping through there and making all the visuals hop and do crazy stuff, and that's the whole game. There's not much to it. There's a whole bunch of visualizations. We should have gone through more of them. We only really went through maybe 3 of them, but there's like 40 of them, and I have them all because I guess the free version of the game only has 12, but you pay $2 and you get like 30 more. But we only saw a couple, and they are pretty, but that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah, it wasn't a very interesting game.
Yeah, it's very simple, and it was only $2. This was back when I had first gotten on Steam and thought, I think it was near Christmas time, or maybe it was the middle of summer, and my mind exploded because Gavin Newell forced me to buy a ton of games on Steam because I didn't realize how cheap they'd be. And I bought a whole bunch of stuff I shouldn't have bought. Now I don't do that anymore. And that's all we have to say about that game. It's lightweight, right? You got nothing?
Wait, who forced you to buy a bunch of games?
Gavin Newell.
Oh, my brain said something totally different.
The guy who owns Valve.
Right, my brain said something totally different.
Lord Gavin, as they call him.
We still need to play through Half-Life, because you've never finished it.
But I did get to Ravenholm.
Finally, yes.
Ravenholm? Is that what it's called?
Well, you didn't technically get there. You came to the front door and said, okay, I'm done, and you quit.
Well, yeah, that means I'm there. That means when I pick it up again, I'll be there.
Maybe we should do that when we're done here.
Oh my word! I got stuff to do after we're done recording. So I guess that's the episode. That's all we have.
Yeah. On Borderlands, we are enjoying playing through it again. I could not get you to play this a second time after we played it the first time. I tried, and you just didn't want to get back into it. Well,
yeah.
I kind of like the maps in the first game. Not more than number 2, but I don't know. They feel more Borderlands.
I can't wait for number 3.
I don't know. Just less developed and more, I'm out in the wilderness running around. But it will definitely be fun to have more places to go and stuff to see and fight in number 3.
Yeah, it gets a little samey.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 2, to an extent, they get a little samey.
I mean,
there's 3 major areas in number 3? Or number 2, pardon me?
I don't...
There's like the icy area and the
that.
big plains area and...
No, there's a bunch
you're right. There's like 5 or 6. Yeah, because
Well,
there's like the big lava area and the one with all the acid.
Big lava area?
Yeah.
You mean that iridium?
Is it?
The
No,
iridium
because
waste?
there's lava. There's a spot where Jack wants you to jump off a thing
Yeah,
and
that's
kill
in the
yourself.
iridium waste.
But there's lava there.
Okay, it's on the edge of the iridium waste.
But there's...
But there's a lot of DLC in that game, too.
There is. And we have it all now, and we're probably never going to get to it.
Oh, we will eventually. What's dumb is that we thought, oh, we'll see what's coming out, and then we'll get the season pass for number 2. We never did. We ended up buying most of the DLC. And then the pre-sequel came out, and we thought, oh, yeah, great, Borderlands, we'll get the season pass this time. And then they never released all the DLC they planned.
They done screwed us on the DLC. They really did. That was lame. That put a bad taste in my mouth forevermore on buying season passes.
But we are going to
now we're still considering getting the Borderlands 3 the season pass.
Well, it's because it's made by the makers of number 2.
Yeah, and of course, they always promise a lot.
It does look like it's a much bigger game, though.
Yeah, and I expect that they're going to go gangbusters with the DLC because they have the entire fan base on board now. Which means they have guaranteed sales for all of it because people are obsessed.
But there's no Battle Royale. What are the gaming journalists going to do?
Whatever will we do without Battle Royale and microtransactions? Although I guess Randy Pitchford got in trouble for the microtransactions thing recently.
Yeah, I heard that, but it's not like you're paying for loot boxes.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what he really meant.
Yeah, no. I
appreciate that there's no loot boxes.
I mean, people are going to charge what they're going to charge for a game. It's their property. People want to play it. They're going to pay somebody else for the time they put into making it.
Yeah.
And for owning the company that makes it. So, I mean, let's not go socialist on video games. But, I do think it is a bit dirty to keep charging for something that somebody's already paid for.
Yeah, well, the loot box thing, though, is really like, pay us your money, and we'll give you a thing that may contain a thing that you want.
Yeah.
It may not. In fact, it probably won't, but it may. So it's not even like you can buy the thing you want, which is real dirty. If it was like, pay us your money, we'll give you the thing you want, it'd be a totally different story. No one would complain, But it's not. It's like, get 40,000 of these box things that are random number generators on them. And if you're really unlucky, you're going to pay all that money and get none of the things you want.
Again,
that's the name of the game.
That's not what Borderlands is doing.
No, of course not. We're just complaining about other games.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I was going to say something about it. I can't remember what.
I'm sure we're going to talk about Borderlands 3 over and over and over on this podcast.
Probably.
Just in the conversation. Not because it's on the backlog. It's on the future backlog.
Ha.
It's like a pre-crime, except it's like a pre-game. We've already played it in some unknown future. And probably loved it.
Well, I've leveled you up twice while I've been playing.
Oh, my word.
And I'm about to level up again.
And leave me in the dust.
Stinking rack.
Okay, alright. Let's wrap this show up.
For anyone who's not aware what rack are, I'm shooting these flying things. I wasn't making a fake swear.
Oh, the rack. Rack you. Rack me. Twitter. Go get us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Hinterlands Feed. Email us at hinterlandsmedia@gmail.com. Find us on Stitcher, Hinterlands Media. Find us on YouTube, Hinterlands Media. You get it. I can keep going, but I'm not gonna. The website, hinterlandsmedia.com, with 3 W's at the front. Remember that, because for some reason, if you don't put www on it, I need to look up on our domain and see what the heck is going on. If you don't put that on, it won't go. Almost every website in the world will just go there without www, but mine won't. It's pretty annoying. I need to look into that. So anyway, go to the website, go listen to podcasts, do all that jazz. That's it. That's all we got.
Play Borderlands, not Witcher.
Play Borderlands, not Witcher. That's the takeaway. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.